Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Right Minds. Let me say this right away to the team, the media team, which I had nothing to do with. Wasn't that intro awesome? I feel like we should have been promoting that. That should have been. That's okay. That was awesome, excellent. I am Broderick Rice. Just in case you didn't know it, I am a comedian. I am a singer, songwriter. I am also an author. And it is my privilege to share this platform with the gentleman that I'm about to introduce to some and present to others. Uh, his name is Dion Middleton, Bishop Dion Middleton. He is a husband. He is a father. He is a pastor. He is a businessman, an entrepreneur, real estate. And I'm sure there are other things that I'm not aware of. If you're in the Baltimore, Maryland area, he is a senior pastor of the Harvest Church International, if I'm saying that correctly. He's going to say something in a minute, okay? But if you're watching right now, and I don't know whether we're streaming on Facebook, I don't know whether we're streaming on, but it doesn't make a difference. Because if you're not watching it while we're doing it, I'm believing we're going to be able to make this available to you so that you can watch it after the fact. So we want you, if you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, like and share. We want to welcome you to Right Minds. It's a play on words, but I promise you, it's with great intentionality and deliberation. So if you're tuning in, like, share, tag, let somebody else know. Right Minds, Right Minds. What is Right Minds? It is the show for visionaries by visionaries. I didn't come up with this. Okay. They just let me do the talking, but and I'm going to be asking this gentleman a lot of questions that are going to help people. He's going to share some things with you, and he's not just talking, folks. He's not just talking. He did it. He's helping me do it. And I challenged him. I said, Bishop, because there was a rumor that he was trying to retire from writing and helping other. I said, Bishop, no. If you didn't, let me throw this in too. He is the son of Dr. Mike and Dee Dee Freeman, a loving son. Did I tell you about his beautiful wife? Okay. So if some of y'all was believing God, some of you single ladies, if you was believing God for a husband, he cannot be your husband. You don't want to get his wife on your case. She's sweet and nice, but you mess with her man, it'll be another story. I want to thank behind the scenes his adorable daughter, Ariel, who is a part of his pastoral staff as well as his media staff. I will say more about her, but wherever you are, let's just give her a little love for everything she's doing behind the scenes. All of the graphics, all of the video, it's because of her. See, I learned hang around smart people, and that's why I hang around Eye to Eye Publishing. You're going to hear more about that. This is something I think we may do once a quarter, or we may do it once a month. We don't have a set time. What we knew was, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Well, what I felt was all of the help I was receiving with a project that I was working on. You would have thought I was paying them thousands of dollars, and I wasn't. Trust. They have not charged me a dime for whatever reason. And I promise you, I receive. All right, enough of me talking. It's Right Minds, the show for visionaries by visionaries. I love that because today we're going to talk about books. We're going to talk about writing. We're going to talk about creating, but we're going to talk about writing books, authoring. Oh, if you ever thought about writing a book. But like me, listen, I wasn't scared to write a book. I was too lazy to write a book. Uh-oh, there it is. It's out there. There's some things I didn't know about it, whatever, whatever. But this gentleman in this season helped me. Just literally took me, well, we not physically, but figuratively took me by the hand. And hey, listen, yes, please feel free. I can't see your comments, but I am grateful for your comments. If you want to leave a comment, if you want to say something, be respectful, because if not, you'll see the other side of Ariel. She'll block you, she'll check you. All right. I know y'all said, be quiet, Broderick, be quiet. Let the bishop speak. Hey, there's First Lady right now. Welcome. This is historical. Bishop, just say hello, because I'm running my mouth. Just say hello, and then we'll get into it.
Well, good evening to everyone. Good evening to my brother, my main man, Dr. Broderick Wright.
Whoa!
You know, he's an ambassador for the kingdom of God, and literally he is this season's ambassador when it comes to laughter, and what you'll get from him is he understands the assignment that he has, and I promise you, he's walking it out. And this show tonight is something that was just birthed out of working something together behind the scenes. So I'm excited that this is groundbreaking. I agree with you, sir. This is groundbreaking.
Bishop, please go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so welcome everybody.
Listen, tell them just a little bit or a lot of it about what you do tell me just a little bit about your church, your ministry, what you do, even with Faith City, Dr. Micah D.D. Freeman. You're a father, you're a pastor. Go ahead and just tell the people. He ain't gonna do a lot of talking. His talking is with his walking. Trust me. But go ahead and just, if you would, share with the people just a little bit about your church, your wife, your family, your ministry.
I'm senior pastor here in the wonderful city of Baltimore, Maryland. I don't care what they say about us on the news. We represent the best parts of Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
So we are spiritual children to Dr. Mike and Dr. D.D. Freeman, senior pastors of Spirit of Faith Christian Center in Brandywine, Temple Hills, and in Baltimore.
Yes, sir.
And that is a badge of honor that we gladly carry to submit, sow, and serve into their lives, because we know that without an Elijah in your life, Elisha cannot become qualified for the double portion unless there was somebody to receive it from. So we understand that part of our assignment, and also as the doctor said, the ambassador said, I'm an author, I'm a success coach, a president of an institute. We just got thrown into the acting business, so now I can throw actor on top of the resume. But a lot of what you're going to get through these sessions, it's going to teach you. This is three things. Number one, the book, the brand, and the business is what you're going to get from this: the book, the brand, and the business. So I'm excited. We're excited to go with this, and hopefully you got your pens out, you got your pencils out, you hit the share button, even if you have to share it and text it with someone, because I'm telling you, this is not a dry season in the kingdom of God. It's only a dry season in the world. So you're in the right place at the right time, hearing the right information.
I love it. Listen now, so we said the name of the church. Tell us a little bit about, if you will, Eye to Eye Publishing, which is, well, first of all, tell us just a couple of things about the books, and I'd asked you.
Hmm.
I said, hey, Bishop, bring some of your books on and just show them. Just show them, if you will, or if Nisi, your wonderful daughter Ariel, has put it up on the screen. She may not be ready for that. Just show them so they'll know you ain't just talking.
Uh,
Wow, that
yeah.
book is called "You Need."
Why You Need a Mentor. This
Ooh,
is a paramount book to those that have been trying to do life on their own. And this one right here, this one's called From Overlooked to Overbooked,
I remember that one.
the making of a six-figure speaker.
Mm.
And this became prevalent because there are a lot of people in the speaking or try to get into the speaking environment, but
Yeah.
they don't have the right tools. Because here's the thing, when you get into this environment, you got to be known as a problem solver. So what I did is I shared in this book some keys and some principles to do that. Now I have another book that I wrote
Yes.
that I sold out of that one, and we're doing a reprint on
Woo!
on how to pay yourself. And that book I wrote that book in the middle of the government shutdown. And the reason I wrote that book in the government shutdown because God wants me to share with the people of God that if they take your paycheck, they can't take your provision.
What did you just say? I dare you to say it again.
If they take your paycheck, they can't take your provision.
See
And
now, listen. You starting fires that I have no intention of putting out.
yeah,
You said
but
they could take your paycheck.
yeah, but they can't take your provision.
Okay.
And so I wrote it as a mini book, and it became it was a surprisingly bestseller in that particular atmosphere. So we're repackaging it, recovering it, and so forth like that. Then I have what I always tell people: you can have things like this is future bestseller. This
Yes.
is a this is a journal basically on the system that I use to write books. And
Mm.
all I did was took the information that I have on a spreadsheet, put it in a book because everybody's not a computer person. A lot of us still use pen and pad. Yes,
Hello.
sir. Yes, sir. And so I in here, like on this, I said it's chapter title. You write a summary of the chapter, and then you write an outline. And then I just share with people in that sphere the importance of how to write this on writing a book. Writing a book is not as hard as you think it is. You
Yes,
just
it
have.
is. Bishop, it's impossible to write a book. Somebody's sitting there right now and
Mhm,
they're saying, well, look at him. He's got a microphone.
mhm,
He's got graphics. He's got a team. And he's on there with Broderick telling jokes and everything. In their mind, somebody might be watching right now.
mhm,
And there is a book in them, Bishop.
mhm, mhm,
The Lord has given it to them. It's burning with them. But Bishop, and they can look at you right now. They can see your books and
mhm,
your bevy of books.
mhm.
And they said, man, I can't do that. I'm just here. Bishop, what is the first tip or what is the first instruction you would give somebody who says, and I want you, listen, let me slow up before I finish that question. If you are, or if you know of someone that's supposed to be writing books. I hear people say frequently, oh, I know I'm supposed to write a book. Or they'll come up and they get ready to buy some of my product. They'll say, oh, I know I was supposed to, oh, but I'm not. And then you got the other people talking, yeah, I'm gonna write it sometime next year. And then of course, next year never comes.
Mhm,
If you are watching this, whenever you're watching this,
mhm,
I want you to lean in, as Bishop Greg Davis would say.
mhm.
Lean into what Bishop Dion is going to be saying in the next minute as soon as I close my mouth. Tag, like, share. Somebody is going to be helped. So I want to get to that question. Bishop, somebody said, well, I saw your books make me don't want to write no book. Uh, uh you know, he he sitting up there and they got all these graphics and they saw all of the media and everything your team did uh with the introductory video, and they got this idea for a book.
Mhm.
What's the first thing they need to do, Bishop?
First thing you need to do is figure out what problem will your book solve. Because that's what you want to do. A lot of times we want to sell. A lot of people tell us early on about trying to do biographies, and what I realize is that people don't want to hear about your life story unless it helps them solve something in their life. Ebook that I'm actually printing on Amazon on how to overcome rejection, strategies to live a life of victory. Well, I wrote the book. It was one of the hardest books I had to write. I actually got some assistance with doing it because I realized there are a lot of people that were dealing with rejection, but um, they never knew how to voice it. They never knew how to overcome it. So that particular book, I wanted to write that book because I know there were people that needed to understand what victory looked like, and from a point of rejection. They've dealt with it from friendships. They dealt with it from relationships. They've dealt with it from family members. They've dealt with it from different aspects. But here's the thing: no one ever told them how to get out of it. So I knew that book, that if I would be transparent for one moment, that book would help others come out of the situation that they're in. Because here's a reality that I know about rejection: if you're not careful, yesterday's rejection will bleed into tomorrow's relationships. They were
Say it again, Bishop. Say that again, please, because I want to write it. Say it again.
Yesterday's rejections, if they're not taken care of, they will bleed into tomorrow's relationships. They will, because that's when people church hurt, and it really isn't church hurt. They just got hurt somewhere else, and what happened in church remind them of where they got hurt somewhere else, and so they're dealing with the same hurt or rejection from another season. They just brought it into the current relationship.
Okay. Normally when we talk, I'm just blown away in the most wonderful of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because some of the things you say in passing
Mm-hmm.
stop me in my tracks. Um, I was working on a book.
Mm-hmm.
It's a book that I have out now.
Mm-hmm.
Shameless plug. You may not be able to see it. It may look backwards, but the book is called Laugh Changers. And let me tell you something. This man and his company and his team, I don't even, I was trying to get the book printed or whatever, but and I had done other books, but I don't know. I just needed some help. I had a bad experience
Mm-hmm.
uh, with, another situation, or not the best experience. And so I said, I just got to do something different. I reached out to Ariel, his daughter, my niece. And I said, I need some help. I need a different flow. And set up a meeting similar to this with Bishop. I said, I need some help. Now, I didn't know how much help he was going to offer me. Now, he didn't have to give me an idea for a book. I had that.
Mm-hmm.
But I needed help facilitating it. I needed a printer. I didn't know I needed typeset correcting, editing, uh, and there's some other things I needed. He just hopped right in. I asked him, I said, well, how much is this? He said, oh, no, yeah, we'll talk about that later. Later never came. I'm not just saying that. And I needed that in this season. Now, that doesn't mean I don't sow into the man of God, but he didn't send me an invoice. He didn't say, well, if you want my services or if you want my team, then you're going to have to sign this contract and do this and do this, and you're going to pay me. And so I'm grateful for that. Now, I'm special. If you come to him and his company and his team, you're going to pay. You going to pay. I'm going to make sure you pay. And if I find out you ain't paying, whoever you are, I'm going to come for you in your inbox. I'm going to slide into your DMs. Welcome to Right Minds. This is the show for visionaries by visionaries. So we're glad to have you here. My name is Broderick Rice, and then the gentleman in the red or the maroon jersey with the headphones on, looking handsome and kind, is Bishop Dion Middleton. He is author, writer, entrepreneur, real estate mogul, husband. Uh, uh, those are just some of the things he is, and he's been a great help to me, especially. I've known him or known of him for years, but this year is a year where I tapped into him and I'm getting as much as I can from him. So welcome to Right Minds, WRITE Minds. And I know some of you, you said, well, no, the RIGHT. Okay, well, you hold on to that. But we want to catch your attention with this creative idea. Okay, so I've written several books. Mm-hmm. And this is not because some of them are not even still in print. Of course, this one is my latest book, Laugh Changers, educating about laughter. In this book, I share about the purpose of laughter, the power of laughter, and some of the pitfalls of laughter. Okay, I'm trying to put up there where you can see. I wrote a book some years ago. This is the first book I ever wrote, Bishop.
Wow.
I'm going to have to do a redo. This back in 2003, 2004. Thoughts are fresh. And these are quote books, inside books. Did another motivational book called Gold Diggers. Bishop, when I wrote this book, you couldn't have told me nothing. I thought I was looking handsome, okay? Mm-hmm. And I was sitting on the sofa and everything, and it's a motivational book. It's not in print right now, but I did that book. And then last year, or 2021, I did another book for the single ladies. It's called When He's Purpose for You. Because I shared in this book, I said he can be attracted to you, interested in you, and even compatible with you, and still not be purposed for you. I did these books, and I'm so grateful. Listen, Bishop, I had asked a question. I want to go back to it. Mm-hmm. And now, if you want his coaching, if you want his tutoring and mentoring, more specifically, his consultation, you can DM him or inbox him. We're going to go back and do some more questions, but I want to, for those who are watching right now, say, how do I contact him? And I know it may not be on the screen, but just verbally tell them how they can connect with you, your company.
They can email me at info@rodneymiddleton.net, and then we'll get back with you information that will assist you, because there's two spectrums. There's number one, you got people that are interested in writing and don't know how to get started, and then you have individuals that already wrote, like Bishop Broderick, that they've written, but they don't know what to do. Because here's what I discovered early on about writing, is that there's a lot of broke authors.
Whoa! Yeah, say that again.
There's a lot of broke authors, because just because you wrote the book, you got to learn how to get people interested in the book that you wrote, or create an audience for the book that you wrote. Because if not, you will. Here's what you will have.
Yes, sir.
You have a lot of books in your basement in a box, unsold.
Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked a question in there. How long is the process? Hold on, let me move. How long is the process for writing a book, and how do you get that from what's in your head to being on paper? Thank you for the question.
Yes. Well, I'm gonna give you it's two aspects. The book really will take as long as to write the book. It will take as long as you're committed to writing it, but because I want you to hook up with me as far as the process. I wrote one of my books in a 1-day 6-hour class.
Whoa!
I wrote a book with my book coach, Taria Vision Avant, my author coach, Taria Vision Avant, and she did a class that we were in from 10 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon on a Saturday, and I was and being coached through was able to get what we wrote, the skeleton of the book, uh, and learn how to put some meat on the bones and stuff like that. And I can share that with you as far as doing that is concerned. So it could take you, and it depends on the kind of book you're going to write. And all that's why I said that how tos. If you do a how to, then you can really write a book. It can take anywhere from 6 months to 6 days, depending on what you're writing. I just wanted to show you one of the books that I wrote. It's a planner. It's called Catching and Casting Vision: How to Relaunch Your Vision. Well, basically,
Put that book up in the screen, Bishop, closer to the ear so they could just see that.
yeah,
That's
catching it,
powerful.
yeah, catching and casting vision. And so it says charting the blueprint for your life, because that's what vision is. But in the book, this particular book only took me 5 days to write. And when I say only, because it's the type of book that I wrote.
Bishop.
This is a plan. It's the type of book. I put in here how you're supposed to use this planner. Is how I put in here how to use it. Now, the beauty of this planner is it's not one. It's a 31 day, which means that you can pick this up at any time and be able to use it. I have affirmations. This is a part of what helps you as an author. You
Yes,
got to
sir.
have affirmations before you. And this one I put, I believe in myself. I trust in my abilities to succeed in all that I do. That's an affirmation. I confess this every day. I confess this on day 24, 7 times a day. Well, where do you start? I do stuff like I'm helping you where it says I'm a magnet. And then I said, go ahead and repeat this affirmation today 7 times. You just keep telling yourself, I'm a money magnet. Well, this book actually was designed to motivate and help people. Now, this was one of the ones that I determined that I was going to write that was differently than a regular book. So there are different styles of books that are in you, because watch this. It's the book, the brand, and the business. Because like what Ambassador Rice has on, he's got BRC. That's his brand. Okay. Yeah, get a look at it. And you go to his website and place an order for anything that's with his brand. And why is that? Because you can't be all over the place when you're attracting an audience. So that now if I was thinking, I would award a brand that I had from a couple years ago called My Grind His Glory. And that was a brand that I had that I wore. I got t-shirts and I got pictures where I had people wear them and so forth like that. What happened? That was the brand that I was using at that particular time. I got polo shirts. I got t-shirts. I got the whole 9 yards. Now, the whole scenario is I'm going to get mugs and all that other kind of stuff. Well, what is that brand? I decided to do a note taker. What is a note taker? It ain't nothing but a notebook with lines on it. That's all it is.
Come on, show that again, Bishop. I'm taking pictures. I'm so
Okay,
ghetto.
it's called My Grind His Glory. Mhm. It's called My Grind His Glory. And what happens is this is a notebook. Well, what do I use this for? When I have my conferences and my meetings, this is something that's on the table because you want to encourage people to take notes for your meetings. Now, here's why it's so important that this becomes a business. Okay, when I teach something, okay, when I'm on stage, because being a pastor, now here's the thing. I had this book right here. I was in the Bahamas. I gave this book to someone when I was in the Bahamas. Why? Because my book is my business card. I gave it to someone, and here's what they invited me to come to the Bahamas and speak because they got my business card. Because that's what the book is, the new business card. I promise you it is.
Bishop,
Yeah.
somebody asked something in the comments. They said, how much does something like that cost? Now, Bishop, I want you to not answer that directly.
No, I'm not going to, because that depends on what you need. That really depends on what you need.
It's a great question. Whoever asked the question, it's an awesome question. Bishop, you said something to me when you were helping me get this get this book out
Mm-hmm.
because I was concerned about something. I said,
Uh-huh.
Bishop, my book don't have that many pages. It's not a thick book like your books. And you said something so encouraging, so
Mm-hmm.
affirming,
Mm-hmm.
so powerful, so uplifting. Do you remember what you said?
Absolutely. I said, you're not selling pages, you're selling content.
Come, somebody ring a bell. I need some sound effects around here. Say, because I know somebody's watching right now,
Mm-hmm.
Bishop, like me.
Mm-hmm.
They got their little notepad
Mm-hmm.
and they've been scribbling little thoughts down on their yellow stencil pad, or they've been just saying a few things into their phone or their computer, whatever. And let me tell you something, and either the devil or the area of my confidence that's not as strong will say, "Oh man, ain't nobody gonna buy that. Your book is not like Doctor Middleton's. It's not like Dr. Mike Freeman. It's not like Creflo Dollars. It's not like Joel Osteen or whoever they've seen write a huge big old book."
Mm-hmm.
And then you would say that to me,
Yeah.
and I want you to talk to them like you, similar to the way you talk to me when I told you, "Oh, my book kind of small. My
No,
book is kind of thin."
yeah. But it's the content. It's what's on the pages. It's not the pages. It's what's on the pages, because what's on the pages is what transforms the life. It's not the amount of pages. Because here's what I've discovered as an author: a lot of people can buy the big books that some of the big authors uh, publish, but they don't read those books. People are looking for something that they can read in a day or two. That's what they're looking for, because they're looking for results. They're not looking for everything like that. Because here's a reality: you're a self-publisher. Because people like, and I mean, I'm not afraid to say it, but people like Bishop Jakes, they get a contract. People like Joel Osteen, they get a contract to
Yes,
write
sir.
books. Nobody has to buy their book. They still gonna get paid down the money whether you buy the book or not. Here's a reality: when it comes to you, you're selling content, which means that you're now making your brain, the information from your brain that you put on paper, you're making it available for someone so that it could help change their life. And so when I get that small book in stature, normally that small book in stature has enough information that's helping to transform my life. So it becomes more valuable to me. And that's why the mindset, even when you're pricing your book, you don't price your book according to size, you price it according to content.
Ooh, say that one more time, Bishop. You
Yeah,
don't price it according to
size,
size.
yeah, you price it according to content. Because in reality, with your book, Ambassador,
I receive.
with your book is transformational for the time that we're living in. And because of the content of your book, that's what's going to transform the lives of people, the content of your book. Because here's a reality that's happened, and I'm not glorifying it, but I'm just bringing about what happened. What happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock, it was actually instrumental for why God wants you to do laughter literacy. Because what happens is, uh, people don't have no understanding of what laughter is supposed to bring. They read what one of the scriptures says, but they don't really have any understanding. Okay, you understand the assignment. You're going to bring everything that has been lost in laughter, you're going to bring it full circle so that we can get the benefit of what laughter was supposed to bring us in the first place.
Boy, listen. To say the least,
Mm-hmm.
you're saying something. You do this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just tuning in right now, welcome to Right Minds. My name is Broderick Rice, and the gentleman with me is Bishop Dion Middleton, Eye to Eye Publishing. Today, we're focusing more so on authoring and writing, and we wanted to do it from as practical of a standpoint as possible.
Mm-hmm.
He has many books, Many, and he has many books, Mini.
Mhm.
So here's someone, and this is why it was so important to me. It must have been the Holy Ghost told me to reach out to your daughter,
Mhm.
who's working behind the scenes on your staff and your media team, and she does an excellent job.
Mhm.
I asked her, I knew I was supposed to do a book,
Mhm.
and I reached out to her because she had been on one of my other shows that I was doing last year on Instagram.
Mhm.
I said, let me ask Ariel. Because
Mhm.
what all I originally thought I wanted or needed, I said,
Mhm.
just give me the number to the company. And for whatever reason, you were interested. One of the things you told me, you said, I want to walk you through this process. I think if you thought I was playing games, you probably would have been saying, okay, take the number, go on.
Mhm.
But I think you watched me long enough and you
Mhm.
said, hey, I want to walk you through. I told you
Mhm.
about some of the experiences that were not so wonderful. You
Mhm.
said, let me walk you through.
Mhm.
Uh, but because someone is watching,
Mhm.
I want to find out. This is a question I want to spring on you. And
Okay.
I'm into this. I have this little notepad that I write, and I have several.
Mhm.
I have different ones for different areas of emphasis. Some
Mhm.
people tell me, oh, put it on your phone, put it on your computer, this and that. I'm old school.
Mhm. Mhm.
I want to ask you
Mhm.
to answer this for me and
Mhm.
maybe those that are watching, whenever they're watching.
Mhm.
What is the significance of pen to paper as opposed to mind to electronic device?
Uh, in reality, and that's why I said I created the notebook of the thing that's on the computer. I'm gonna go back to even what we call this write. Okay, we are in a society where people don't write anymore with pens. We're in a society that we have a generation that don't even know how to write cursive anymore.
Mm.
So writing is becoming obsolete. Now here's a reality. This can break or go out. This computer that I have can be hacked. Now I'm gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the
Come
truth.
on. Come
When
on,
it
Bishop.
comes to typing, I mean, I've typed, but I typed because I had to. I didn't type because I wanted to. I hate typing. And I hate typing. And people don't understand. I said, no, really, I do hate typing. I said, just because I type something, just because I've done work, just because I've done whatever, I hate it. I said, but here's the thing. I can always, once it's typed or I pay someone to type it, I can always go back to this and rewrite more things or add more chapters or add more things to it. So I'm an encourager of pen and paper, and it doesn't cost you that much. You can go to the dollar store. You can go to the dollar store and get pen and paper, and you can begin to flow, write down certain notes, because everything that I write is not in order. Because even when I wrote my book, just because you see a chapter here, I think I wrote the last chapter before I wrote the second chapter.
Well, what
Because
was that about, Bishop? And somebody in
yeah,
there says flow.
mm-hmm,
They said flow, and then
mm-hmm,
somebody else said right. I believe her name was Annetta or Cheryl.
uh,
He said write the vision.
yeah, because here's what happens
Yes, sir.
in this particular book. Chapter 14 says a problem to be solved. That's the first chapter I wrote because if I'm not going to solve a problem, the rest of the book is going to be useless.
Mm.
But with a pencil, I mean a pen and a notebook, I wrote it down. So whatever chapter I flow in writing, I write it according to when I'm writing it, and then I put it in order after I write it. And no, is what I do. I put
Now,
it.
now, now that's a piece right there. That's you could do a whole workshop
Mm-hmm,
just on that piece there that
mm-hmm,
you shared because here one of the things I want to make sure we did today
mm-hmm,
because I know that somebody's watching this. Somebody may be watching this a year after we have finished this uh live cast or this cast. And what you just shared will be so pivotally
Mm-hmm.
important. It will be that thing
Mm-hmm.
that gives someone the confidence to say, I'm going to write this book. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to start today. And of course, you know me. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I have some other books in mind
Mm-hmm.
that are more sequentialized,
Mm-hmm.
as some of your books are, Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but because I'm lazy, okay, I started out, my
Mm-hmm.
first 4 books are more like booklets, but they are powerful. You see,
Absolutely.
I'm showing off.
Absolutely.
I'm proud of my work.
Absolutely.
Hello, I'm proud of my work. And whoever you are, you should be proud of it. And now you said something, Bishop, that was
Mm-hmm.
very encouraging. Amongst the many things that you've said, so
Mm-hmm.
encouraging. Somebody's watching right now, and let's go here.
Mm-hmm.
What you said? Right, what will help somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lori, we see you. Welcome. Thank you.
She is the writer of The Trophy Wife, the movie that we were in, Lori Reyes.
Okay, well then you know what? On
Yeah.
the next one, we're gonna have to
We're gonna
bring
bring
her
her
in.
in. Yeah. Yeah.
You and I will interview her,
Uh-huh.
and that should be fun. But
Mm-hmm.
Bishop, I keep feeling that person. They're watching us right now. They hear what you
Mm-hmm.
said. They've seen your books, the variety of books, the styles, the
Mm-hmm.
format.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen my books, but they hear our voices.
Mm-hmm.
But there's another voice.
Mm-hmm.
There's another voice that's trying to get in their head and tell them, Bishop is just talking. Broderick, you know he's just a comedian. They got money. They rich. They have mansions and limousines and all of these things. And while we
Mm-hmm.
receive that,
Mm-hmm.
but the enemy is telling them, I can't make that first step. I don't have what he has. I don't have what they have. I don't speak to that person right now. Let's literally write their minds.
Wow. Here's what happens. This particular book right here, Why You Need a Mentor. I'm gonna tell you why I'm showing this. It says
Come on.
creating the life you want and fulfilling your dreams. Now, let me tell
Hold
you
on, put
something.
that book up again, because you know me, I love taking pictures because
Yeah.
I'm ghetto like that. And you
Yeah.
know I'll have them all over my social
Yeah.
media.
No, but this particular book was so powerful. Now, I'm gonna tell you one of the things that we teach. I wrote this book. I had information. Watch this, but I didn't have money for the book.
Say that again.
I had.
That'll touch somebody. So this is for the person who said, "Oh, well, I don't have money like them." Oh, look at him. He got all them shiny books. And
Mhm,
what? Tell him again. Put the book back up,
mhm.
Bishop, and then tell him what about that book you
I
had.
had. I had information, but I didn't have money for the book.
No, but you're a bishop. You're a
Yeah.
bishop. You're
Uh,
Arnetta artist said, "Get out of my business."
uh,
Somebody else, Melanie says, she said hello. But say that one more time. You a bishop, you got a
yeah.
house, you're
Yeah.
an entrepreneur, you
Yeah.
travel, you know Dr. Mike and Dee Dee Freeman
Hmm.
personally.
Hmm.
But you said what? You had the what?
I had. Watch this. I had the issue for the book to write the book, but I didn't have money to publish the book.
Well then, see that. Listen, somebody watching this. That's what I'm talking about. I don't have the money either. So I guess I can't write the book.
But
The
but
bishop said.
here's the beauty of why I'm saying that to you. But you see the book, and that's one of the things we teach you, that just because you don't have the cash right now doesn't mean you can't publish the book. And so that's
Bishop, now
yeah,
I'm not going to tell him what you did for me
yeah.
within a span of probably about 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to share that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing he did do was empower me
Mm-hmm.
to make a move
Mm-hmm.
within 5 hours. I woke
Yeah.
up to it. I'm not going to tell you what he
Yeah.
did,
Yeah.
but he he inserted me into a secret
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to where I was flowing the
Mm-hmm.
next day.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have seen that, Bishop, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
And the reason why I'm not sharing with you what he did is because some of you are going to need to contact him. If Ariel can somehow, or one of your team members could just put that in the screen, and I'm sure they'll do it,
Yeah.
how they can contact you.
Mm-hmm.
They need to talk to you. They
Yeah.
need about 30 minutes with you on the phone. Of course, those things
Absolutely.
cost. But let me ask you this. What is your vision work? Well, I'm not sure how much it costs. You know, I've seen people DoorDash, didn't know what DoorDash was going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
because I love DoorDash, but
Yeah.
they give you one price for the food,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need $1 million for the taxes and the
The tip, the taxes, and the transportation costs.
right. That
Yeah.
costs more than the food. Okay?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that you understand. But here's the thing: he might give you the first 5 minutes free,
Mm-hmm.
but how valuable is your vision to you?
To me, my vision is extremely
Well,
valuable.
no. I'm talking to them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But we know how valuable
Yeah.
your vision is to you.
Right.
Go ahead, Bishop. Look like there's something that you want to say.
No, I was just going to say, because the whole scenario is, even when I was talking to Broderick, when we first had our initial consult, what I gave him, I wasn't worrying about whether it was going to work or not. I knew it was going to work.
It worked immediately.
I put it in his hands and say, all right, go for it. And then when I put it in his hands and say, go for it, he and he makes me laugh when he tells me, he says, and I did according to what the man of God said.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Listen, and I received immediate results. Guess what? And I'm still receiving results from a basic instruction and a secret that you put into my hands while I was sleeping. I love the fact that we're talking to people. And listen, this is me saying this. We ain't going for the people that's wonderful. If you're wonderful, you go ahead and do your thing. If this and that, okay, that's what we are talking to. That person that's sitting in their 1-bedroom apartment with 3 kids. We're talking to the person that got to catch the bus to work, but you got this vision. We are especially, we're talking to everybody, but we're especially talking to that person. You love God, you tithe, you offer, you sow, you love the man of God, but you have this idea about a book or a booklet, but you don't know the first step to take. Perhaps somebody said, Lori says, Pastor Middleton is the best mentor ever. Yes.
Love her. That's my family.
Listen, I'm saying yes. I got proof.
You got the receipts.
Listen, I got receipts. And you are watching right now, and you feel like I don't know the first thing to do. Well, we're removing that. We're removing that line, that obstacle, because Bishop Dion Middleton is here. And I asked him, would you consider talking to the general public like you talk to me privately? I'm talking about for hours. I call him. And if I couldn't get him, I call his daughter, talk her ear off. But let's talk about the season that it is. I believe you alluded to it just a few minutes. The season that it is and the significance of them tapping into their right minds, putting out the books, small books, big books, workbooks. You put out something. Talk about the season that it is and the relevance of their writing. Watch this. And you said something powerful without being rich. 85 mansions and 25 cars and your own private jet, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But talk to them about the significance of writing, especially in this season that we're pandemic, war, economic downturn. Come
Mm-hmm.
on,
Yeah,
Bishop.
yeah, but see, and you're absolutely on point with that because one of the things that I'd say that in first, what I've watched with you is that you wrote the and people didn't just invite you in to be their comedian; they invite you in to teach on your book. Is what they invited you in to do also, and so your book will begin to open up lanes and assignments for you that you didn't think you're going to be able to get into, but exponentially in this time because God gave me a word. God gave me a word that He was creating new voices in the earth, and He gave me this word before the pandemic. Now, here's what was ironic. So God told me to start a studio. Now, when God told me to start a studio,
Hmm.
I had no cameras. I
Well,
just started ordering cameras. I didn't have any cameras when He told me start
well, then how could
one
the
because
Lord ask you to do something and you didn't have the tools? Why would He
all I
do
had
that?
because when I believed Him,
Hmm.
I began. Watch this. I believed Him. I began to say, "Okay, this is what I got to do." And so I wasn't deep. This was before the pandemic. I jumped on eBay and I bought some stuff that got me started on eBay. That didn't cost me a lot of money. I negotiated some deals. I got 3 HD cameras before the pandemic that I gave the guy $105 for all 3 cameras because he wanted to get rid of them. Now, what happened is in the pandemic, I sold those same cameras for $300 each. And that was inexpensive. So now I got $1,000. And so now it's time to upgrade the studio. When it's time to upgrade the studio, I don't need all the money that I thought I needed because now He gave me seed when He gave me something used because it was about what you have in your house. So I sold that, was able to now upgrade to these 4K cameras that we're running with and working with. And it all happened because if God gives the vision, He's got to provide for the vision that He gives you. And He didn't need me to go out and buy everything right away. He didn't need me to do that. He just needed me to hear Him and what He wanted me to do. That's all you have to do. Hear where He wants you to be first, and then believe Him for the resource that would come. Because I didn't know what cameras cost. I didn't know whatever. I didn't know the route that I could have taken with this. But when the road came, watch this. God provided the resources that every 4K camera, switchers, and everything that we bought cash money.
But Bishop, you're a bishop. You're a
Mm-hmm.
pastor of a church. You're connected to Dr. Mike. I'm just a regular little person. I don't have everything you have.
Let me
You know,
tell you the best part about this. This up your alley now. Uh, every seed, not that I put in our ministry, but every seed that I put into my man of God's, every seed that I put into my woman of God's life, I said, Lord, I have a right to put a demand on every seed that I have sown to fulfill the vision that you want me to fulfill. Now, here's what I did. Now, I'm being transparent when I'm
yes,
saying this
sir.
to you. Is okay at the time. Okay, at the time I'm hearing this, we're coming home from church one Sunday, and somebody hit our car, and they totaled our car. And no, they totaled our car. Before the pandemic started, I had to get, we had another car. I had to get that towed. Okay, we got my darling wife said she wanted a truck. So what Mama want, Mama get.
Hey,
I went and found Mama a truck that she wanted. That's her truck. I just get a chance to drive it and all. But here's what happened. We committed during the pandemic to stick with just having that one car.
in the pandemic,
In
but
the pandemic, we stuck with the truck. And although I had means to buy another car, the Lord says don't buy it because somebody will eventually give you one.
don't tell me somebody gave you a car.
Not yet, but somebody been asking around.
Bishop, I
Mm-hmm.
wanna I wanna dovetail that because I want to ask a million other questions, but I'll wait
That's
till
right.
we're by ourselves.
Uh,
Bishop, but in this season of economic downturn, social
mm-hmm.
upheaval,
Mm-hmm.
uh political
Mm-hmm.
scandal.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, hear God and do. In this season, during a pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
people have lost their jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Some have lost their churches.
Mm-hmm.
Some have lost their mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why and how right now?
Mm-hmm.
How? You know, how and why
Mm-hmm.
should they write now?
Because
Author a book now.
right.
I mean, what is there to talk about?
the
Come on, talk to them.
the landscape has changed. And this is what I want people to understand. The landscape has changed, which means that now, even during the pandemic, the playing field was level. When it came to pastoring, I'm on the same level as Bishop T.D. Jakes now. Now, in the natural, when they show up, he got 20,000 people that show up in his church. But when we were all virtual, we had the same opportunity. So the playing field began to change, and it didn't catch God off guard. And because it began to change, it now evened it up that some of the things I wanted to do, the playing field was now level. So I can write a book. They told me to sit on the sofa. I'm gonna write a book. Is what I did. They told me to sit on the sofa at a media company. Why? Because I realized that in this shift that's happening, that when the landscape changes, the playing field changes, and when the playing field changes, I get an equal right to now say that I'm a president of a media company where it's not, advantageous and so forth. One of the things that changed, one of the things that changed, my daughter Ariel, I had, because when I left work originally, I had a graphics company. I worked my graphics company for years. Okay, during the pandemic, Ariel learned how to do graphics and all this other stuff. And so this girl, she watched me for years do something. During the pandemic, the playing field is level because I'm retiring. I'm saying a lot. I'm retiring from a lot of stuff. So now she becomes in demand because the playing field has changed during that time. I have Lori on the thing. Lori, when they started writing movies, because she's got a couple, when they started writing movies, it changed because nobody could go to the theaters. So now everything's on TV. So now the playing level, you get with the right person, the playing level changes, and now you get your stuff where people are only watching it on TV. Now, here's why it's so important about you writing the book. When you write the book, and you start doing, because I see people do a lot of Facebook lives, YouTube lives, and so they ain't saying nothing because they don't really have an assignment. They just want to get on there and talk. Now
Bishop, shots fired. Shots fired.
That's what they want to do. Now my thing is, if I'm not gonna say, but if I want to get on and talk, I got something that God's given me that they need. And,
Yes,
and that's allowed the playing level field to change. So now you can do the things that you're doing. Even when you and I started working when you reached out to me for us to work together, I understood how the playing field changed. So when you started talking, I'm like, okay, all right, we can do this. We can handle this. We can do X, Y. I didn't fret because I understand the time that we're in. Because right now, someone got a book in relative to homeschooling. You better write that book right now.
What?
Shoot. You better write that manual right now.
So Bishop, you mean, let's just say somebody went through an experience of extreme hurtful loss. You mean they could write a book about that?
Absolutely. Because even during this time, people can talk about overcoming isolation. Because here I made this statement that I taught on for a little while, but I just did it as bait because I want to see who's going to take the bait. When the Bible says it's not good for man to be alone, and in the natural, we jumped that to think it was just about marriage, and it was, even though we've used it for marriage. When he says, "I'll give you help," help wasn't always a spouse. Help is your community. Help is the people around you, and so it's not good for you to be alone because God's giving you help. And so now here's what I can do. I can write a book on not being alone. I can do a seminar on not being alone. I can do a podcast on not being alone. I can do a documentary on not being alone. I mean, the sky's when you write the book is an extension of everything else you're gonna do.
Bishop, I want to ask you this, and we've gone past an hour, and that went by so fast. I was concerned. I said, "Well, do we have enough to say, or what if I should have known better?" Okay, somebody's watching. Welcome to Right Minds. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm the host, but I defer greatly to the bishop because the wisdom that he has, the experience that he has. If you just see him walking down the street, he may not say too much of nothing but hello. But when you start talking to him, and don't ask an honest question, he'll spot it. And if he don't have it, he'll get back to you on it. Mm-hmm. I want to say this, because I don't know when we're going to come back on, but we will be back for another session. Somebody asked about that, because I believe that there's some people. We won't be on every day, and we won't be on every week. Mm-mm. His schedule, between his schedule and mine, and Ariel's, and his wife's, we just can't be on every day. Can't even commit to coming on every week. But stay tuned. We will let you know. And now that I've seen Ariel's and your team's ability to put together those videos, don't show me nothing, Bishop. Bishop, one more time, I want you to share with those that have been watching how they can contact you, because they've heard enough today. You have helped me. You just helped me again yesterday with something. Listen, I told him, I know he got to be laughing. I told him, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. I was back in his office on his phone saying, Bishop, can you help me with this and that? He said, sure. And I was surprised I was able to reach him directly because, like I said, he has a schedule. I talked to his daughter more than I talked to him. Mm-hmm. I guess she feels sorry for me. But he told me he's going to do better. He's going to try to pick up the phone when I call. Mm-hmm. But he helped me with something just yesterday, even with this book. Mm-hmm. He helped me. I won't even get into how I sent over to him a draft of the book, and I thought it was like, let's go. He had to retypeset the book. And first I was like, well, it's not like I rip. Then when I took a closer look at it, thank you, Ariel. I love you too. He made my book better. I've never had a book formatted. Now, I had the graphic artwork and design done or whatever. Mm-hmm. But once I put in his hand, I didn't know what he was going to do. But he had told me, he said, I'm going to walk you through this. He said that from day one. And the way this book feels in my hand, Bishop, and I almost missed it. Because all I wanted was the number to the people. Then I said, I'll do everything else. So helpful. One more time, tell the people, thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. Look forward to seeing the work that you're doing. And we're going to have her on one of the shows.
Absolutely.
Maybe not the next one, because I want to be selfish. and I want to have you to myself one more time. But when we do the third one, we're going to have to do that. Maybe we'll do that on a Friday night. Okay. Or, Bishop, does she live in your area or she lives someplace else?
She lives close to D.C.
Okay.
Yeah, in Waldorf.
Fly in and we'll do a Right Minds live. To where we'll interview her.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons why I say all this stuff, because he got all the tools. I know how to talk. He got all the tools. He's got the studio, the equipment, the staff. Hang around smart people. But tell them how Deneen Middleton is saying trophy wife, B-E-T. That's a whole nother piece. And hopefully you don't interview her before I get a chance to be a part.
No.
Even if you do.
Yeah.
But even if you do, hey, we still re-interview her on this particular platform. Tell the people one more time. Because listen, I'm going to take this old song. I need the oh I publishing. And here's the thing. They didn't take no credit. I mentioned them in the book, but they didn't try to, hijack what I was doing. With my insecure self, I was calling, oh, well, I want to make sure that people know it's me and I want. He says, whatever you want. We trying to help you. And trust me, they did. Of course, if you want to get my book, first of all, just either email me, DM me, inbox me, or Cash App me. I'm ghetto. I'm old school. I don't have no link. Cash App me, $ Broderick Rice. Now, you can believe I'm going to sow into this man of God today. He said, no, you use your own. No. I'm going to sow. It may not be what people call much, but I'm sowing into the man of God today because I'm so grateful. If you would like to sow into the man of God, the information will be somewhere on the screen. But what is your Cash App? I have it, but
it is. Let me see. They'll put it up on the screen.
Okay, just say it one time verbally, Bishop.
It's my Dion Middleton is my Cash App.
One more time.
My Dion Middleton is my Cash App.
DEON. Okay.
MIDDLETON. Or if you want to do Zelle, you can do DionMiddleton@gmail.com.
I appreciate you so much. You are a jewel. Bishop, you were in the movie?
I was in the movie.
Okay, that's a whole nother piece. We're going to come back. But we want to honor you today. He didn't ask for this. He don't need my money, but my seed need his field. Just go get us some Starbucks because I know he likes coffee and some of those small things or whatever. But if you receive something from him today, he didn't ask me for this. He didn't ask. Matter of fact, just yesterday, he did something for me and it required more than I gave him. He took care of it, didn't say nothing. I had to catch it and then just try to get it back to him. But that was just covering my own responsibility. But today I want to just sow something in him so he can know from me, and I want you all to sow. I don't care whether it's $10, $25. You may do more. Somebody might do 50, or you may want to do more. This man of God is helping people. He's going to help people. If you are an author or want to be author or wish you could be, not sure. Maybe you put out a book before and something went wrong. This is a man of integrity and a man of experience. He is doing what he is sharing. And I'm so grateful. He helped me with my latest book, walked me through it and still walking me through the process. And I'm grateful, but I want you to sow into him today. I want you, Bishop, in this next minute or so, I want you to pray for authors, would-be authors, once was authors. I want you to, if you will, did you freeze? Or okay, you're still there. If you would just either pray or speak over to them as we are preparing to go, because this is a lifeline for somebody. I remember I told you when we talked, I said, Bishop, I was depressed over my book because I had paid for the, we don't want to scare you, but there was something I had done. It didn't work out. So I had to start over again. I was depressed for a month just because I didn't know the next step to take. And then I remembered, call Bishop. I called Ariel. And then she said, listen, and I promise you, they will give you more than you asked for. All I thought I was going to talk to him or a text. She arranged a Zoom similar to this where I was able to talk to him for an hour. In my case, free of charge. Okay. That's not every time because I got to sow into this man of God. But it really helped me because the air had gone out of me. Somebody's watching. The air has gone out of them, Bishop, for a number of different things, but specifically and more deliberately and poignantly, that author, that writer, that visionary, that creative. Speak to them and then just pray us out, and we're going to go forward from this.
Okay. First of all, Let me just say this to those who are who've been aspiring but have been stagnant, because that's
Mm.
pretty much where that's where this fear and discouragement can lead you to stagnation.
Bishop.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where most of us have been lived by, and I want you to understand my story a little bit. Uh, when I It's two things. When I was in middle school and I was in English, I barely passed. And when I say I barely passed, I mean I barely passed
Okay.
English. Okay, uh, to the point that the teacher tried to mock me in class. Now here's the thing: you can't let a person who don't know you discourage your future,
Mm.
because if it's a struggle now, it's got to be something in my destiny later. You know, I go to college, and when I go to college, and I went to at the time it was a HBCU,
Yeah.
and I'm in the class, and my English professor, who ended up being the president, he was so hilarious because I wrote a paper. He said in somebody else's class this would be an A, but in mine it's a C plus.
Mm.
I'm saying, man, I will drop your class tomorrow. I'm like, I don't, because I didn't think the relevance of where writing would be for me. But then I realized that God would give me something to say to people. And here's the thing: you could have this book and have me. You don't need to have me when you have what I've written. Now,
Mm.
here's the thing: you don't have to go big, just go valuable. Just go.
Bishop, listen, Bishop,
Mhm.
you about to take us to the next session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Because
listen, you about to take it. I want you to hold some of that.
okay, I got to hold my mule. Then I'm
Yeah,
gonna hold my
hold you
mule.
because I
Yeah,
want them. Well, they're going to come back.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like you said, Broderick, I don't care how many people show up. That's not the
yeah.
point.
Mm-hmm.
We just want to help whoever shows up, whatever they
Uh,
show up. But just speak one. Just speak life to the writers,
okay.
the would be writers, the scared to be writers. Watch this. Speak a word to the lazy people, like I used to be, as well as those
If
that
you,
are burnt,
yeah,
burnt and discouraged. But
yeah,
speak life to us and pray us out.
absolutely. You get a notebook. You find out a problem to solve, because even if you could be a person who used to procrastinate, and now you beat procrastination. You can write a little small book on 3 steps to overcoming procrastination. You can write that type of book. And then when you write that book, watch this, it's the valuable of the content that'll cause people to buy that book. So I'm saying to you, just pick up a notebook and start writing. You think you got to write the book out in sequential order. No, just,
Bishop,
just start writing. And and I know people
on
say,
on a
what?
little pad like this that was 50 cents from Target.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You get something like that, and that will keep you, watch this, interested, because here's what you do. You
Yes.
don't have to write everything together. You just write what comes to you and what flows in you and what flows through you. And so when you write that, here's a reality. There's a problem solver in you somewhere. There's a problem that you have overcome and solved in you somewhere. Write, let that be the first thing you write on. How did you solve this problem? And I have one book that my neighbor wants me to write. My neighbor me to write a book to give to her daughter. And I told her, I said, I might just write the book and just send one to her daughter, because I didn't think it was a part of my assignment. But in the last 5 years, but in the first 3 years of it, I lost 180 pounds. And so she
Who
wanted
did
her,
you did?
yes, sir.
Okay, what? Hey, listen, hold that. I see what
Okay.
you,
Okay.
Bishop.
No.
Bishop,
Yeah.
you just pray because see, you try to take us to a whole nother level. And we appreciate, Bob. I want you to hold some of
Hold.
that
All right.
because
I
it's so
got
good. But just pray us
press
out,
now.
Bishop,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go from this session. And we want everybody to stay tuned because we might be on in the next couple of weeks. I don't know
Yeah.
Bishop's
Yeah.
schedule yet. He doesn't
Yeah.
know mine, but
Uh-huh.
we will be back.
Uh-huh.
But just pray us out, Bishop. Speak blessing upon every writer, every creative, every visionary.
Father, in Jesus' name, speak life. I speak
Ah,
abundance. I speak
yes.
creativity
Thank you,
over
Father.
every person underneath the sound of my voice. Lord, give them something to say to the masses. Let them write it down to the masses, and let the book that's been in
Mm.
them, let it come out of them before the summer of
Woo!
2022 commence. So I receive authors on this line tonight.
Yes.
And I don't just receive regular broke authors. I receive authors that operate in abundance. So we declare it and decree it right now
Yes.
in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Listen, thank you all for tuning in. My name is Broderick Rice, comedian, laughter literist, author, singer, songwriter, and our guru, our visionary. I'll call him our leader, is Bishop Dion Middleton. Now you gotta understand, I've never, ever heard him talk this much for this long. And so it's an honor. We are honored, Bishop. Once again, if you want to sow into the man of God, the information will be on the screen. Somebody said, well, what about you, Broderick? We'll get to me at some point. But right now, I think it is so important. I asked Bishop, could we do this? And he said yes. He put the time aside. And I don't want to take too much of his time because it's only, what, 5 out here, but it's 8 something on the East Coast. But share this with someone that you believe needs the encouragement, that needs the insight. Also, for consultation, facilitation for your book, contact his office. I believe the information will be on the screen. Info at rodneymiddleton.net. That's info at rodneymiddleton.net. You want him to talk to you, and he will make it plain. He will help you to believe that you can do it. You said something scary right now. You said something scary in your prayer. You say a book by this summer. Do you realize the summer is next month?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if he said this to you, trust
Mm-hmm.
me, I have proof.
Mm-hmm.
From the time I start talking to him in March,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
my book was out in April.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave it with that. Thank you so much for joining us for Right Minds by Visionaries. I'm Broderick Rice. This is Bishop Dion Middleton. And Middleton. I knew a Littleton back in the day in school. And we will look forward to seeing you and you seeing us at the next appointed time. Bye bye, everybody.